Hey guys, Dream here again. This is me. What if Luffy was Roger's reincarnation? What if Luffy basically was born the year Roger died, but also had inherited Roger's spirit? Now, I didn't mention this in the previous part. I did mention that Ace actually did not like Luffy a lot the first time they met, because I kind of breezed through Luffy's childhood a bit, not like insanely fast, but not at a good pace that I wanted it to be. But Ace did not like Luffy a lot because Luffy kind of had Roger's spirit wandering about. But Ace actually did genuinely start to like Luffy after only a few weeks. Like the same 2 weeks as in canon, it was just Luffy was 2 years older than Ace, because he's 2 years older than basically Ace and Sabo. But this is kind of like Ace doesn't know that Luffy is the reincarnation of Roger, so Ace doesn't know he would have liked his father. But this does mean Luffy had left 2 years. Well, he had left 5 years before he originally left in canon. So yeah. Luffy was kind of alone at sea for 5 whole years. But one of his first stops was Kokoyashi Village. He liberated that, took over Arlong Park mainly, and just lived there. But he did go meet up with Usopp after that, and actually trained Usopp constantly until Usopp actually moved to his island. But while he was there, he had actually found a bounty poster that resembled Kuro. Then he fought Kuro, beat the hell out of him, and won. Well, he fought Kuro, beat the hell out of him, which resulted in him winning. Then after that, well, we would just go on to mainly Luffy training up the Straw Hat crew. He fought Sanji when he first met him, he won, and his attitude towards it made Sanji want to train even harder. When Shimosuke Village beat up Zoro wanted to train harder, the same effect as Sanji. Remember, Zoro had left Shimosuke Village to go fight Luffy specifically. He eventually found Kokoyashi Village where Luffy was based at. Once you see Sanji leaving the island all beaten up. But Zoro and Sanji kind of made fun of each other, sparked the rivalry first. But eventually this does lead to the whole Straw Hat crew being at Kokoyashi to train together. Especially Nami, who was with Luffy for the longest. Luffy's crew is now set up more like a how would I phrase it? More of, I guess, Whitebeard ship would be the best way. Because Luffy isn't the father, but more like the big brother. But well, Jinbei would not really that's the main deciding factor would be his whole Straw Hat crew besides Jinbei considering Luffy a brother. Jinbei and Luffy would be more on even terms, and Brook, Jinbei, and Luffy. Well, actually, no, Brook could. Luffy's more like a master and brother to everyone, because he grows them either physically in power or just emotionally. With Jinbei, he wouldn't need to grow Jinbei either way, and well, honestly, there's not even a vice captain yet. There's a navigator, a captain, and a cook. That's really just it. Yeah, vice captain. Well, basically, Luffy has the most pull on the ship because he doesn't know he'd have to be both roles because he doesn't think anyone on the ship is ready to be vice captain. So there's really no vice captain just yet. Vice captain will be given out, actually, to the role of, I'd honestly say, probably Robin or Jinbei only. Because Luffy does know that the vice captain, well, historically, has actually been the one with more pull than a regular captain. So Luffy actually isn't looking for anyone who's like him to become a vice captain. He doesn't think it'd be that good, so I'm telling you right now, the only good options for vice captain would probably be only Robin or Jinbei. One of those two only. Zoro actually people do disrespect his power on the ship, so that they would listen to Zoro actually a lot. Even Sanji would, despite not liking him. Even Luffy, but Zoro's not vice captain in this one. He's not really even given a role. He's called a swordsman on the ship. That's about it. But due to no one really being known as vice captain, Zoro is kind of the acting vice captain until they find a real one. But they also recently just left. Alabasta in the last part. I've heard the bounties, but all I remember is Luffy's was in the 60 millions. But Luffy also beat Crocodile, and his bounty in canon went up 30 million. But then Luffy beat Crocodile honestly a little too easy. His bounty went up a 40 million, so he's around 100 million exactly right now. But still, it was higher than Bellamy, which would lead to Bellamy not messing with Luffy either way. But with Robin on their ship, Luffy actually does offer a high, once she says, "I'm joining your crew," Luffy then says, "How about this? I'll offer you a high, if you stay, because I know you're probably being chased by the government or luring us to them." He's not dumb, actually. He's actually very intelligent. At least when it comes to other people with bounties, he's very intelligent with how they would act. Because in these police, he studied bounties constantly to get money. He didn't have any source of income besides Kokoyashi villagers. Bounties was his best way to do that. He was a bounty hunter for the first 5 years of his pirate life. But Luffy is actually very, very good with bounties, and actually you can tell that Robin either luring them to the government or trying to just be with them till she needs to leave. Pointing that out, she's kind of shocked. Luffy says, "Well, until she decides that she wants to stay with them, or until she leaves, she has 2 options. Either only be here to be an architect and give them access to poneglyphs, or be the vice captain. Choose one. Sanji just questioned why Luffy would do this. Luffy then says that Robin's probably one of the smartest people to ever exist currently. This is the best option they have. Robin struck that Luffy had this much trust in her immediately, and that he read her that fast. So with this, well, immediately she said, I'll do both. I'll be vice captain and give you poneglyph information. So Robin's the current vice captain. They get to Jaya. Robin actually she does tell Zoro and Sanji specifically don't get in trouble. Luffy, she can't really give orders. She doesn't really want to give him orders because, well, there's really no reason. He's actually not really too... He listens, but that's kind of really just it. But wait, pause real quick. Alright, so basically, well, Robin can really tell Luffy don't get in any trouble because, well, either he won't, or if he does, they deserved it if he's going to fight someone. So, on Alabasta, I didn't really go in depth with Luffy and Ace. That encounter mainly went the same, it's just Ace gave Luffy a lot more information on how he is with the Whitebeard crew. Because Luffy already passed on the offer to, like, make Jinbei an ally to Hachi. Hachi together with Jinbei. And Jinbei's allied with the Whitebeard crew, and Jinbei probably hangs out with Whitebeard a decent amount, because Whitebeard's only base is, like 2-3 islands, maybe, that we know of at least, that he would go to frequently, was, like Sphinx Island and Fishman Island. So assuming that Whitebeard may have come to Fishman Island in the past 5 years isn't too unlikely. So Whitebeard's pretty much aware of that Luffy is offering up to be an ally, and Ace is vouching for him, and Ace is his 2nd Division commander by the time that Ace does join, and it's been 3 years since Luffy had asked. So at this point, Whitebeard has too many connections to Luffy to actually decline being his ally. So yeah. Pause. So basically, well, Whitebeard is kind of hesitating to be an ally of Luffy, but isn't saying no. Just Luffy doesn't have any notable feats besides defeating Crocodile. But then we heard that he saved a kingdom from Crocodile, but then didn't take anything from it. Alright, this is a bit different. I like it. So Whitebeard is official ally of Luffy. So yeah, and well, Ace did give Luffy a Denin Mushi, but Luffy doesn't know how to use a Denin Mushi. So yeah. So Robin's teaching Luffy how to use one, and, well, if Ace knew Luffy's Mushi number, I assume I assume he would, but, yeah. But either way, Jaya, the Straw Hats just basically go about, because, well, one, Luffy is aware of is aware of Blackbeard, and just is aware that Ace is hunting him, and is aware that he's really strong. So Luffy's kind of just watching out on Jaya. So Luffy and Zoro go into the bar, and Luffy actually drags along Chopper, saying Chopper can get some food here. So on here, Chopper and Luffy can have the same encounter that Blackbeard and Luffy had in canon. And then Blackbeard joined in, and then Chopper and Blackbeard have the same opinions. Luffy just says, you both have horrible taste buds. So, yeah. With that, Luffy actually can identify that this is officially Blackbeard. But eventually Bellamy does walk in until Luffy actually grab Blackbeard. And then actually kind of mumbled under his breath, only loud enough for Blackbeard to hear, saying, I know you're a pirate, just join me in this fight, and we'll take it outside when we're done. Everyone scoffs, saying, fine. And Luffy stood up, and Bellamy asks if this is really Straw Hat Luffy. And then asks who the old man is. Luffy then yelled, he used to be on Whitebeard's crew. As soon as Bellamy's he gets so old he had to leave? Whitebeard's like, no, I betrayed him. Only for Blackbeard to use not dark wood, but just a very darkness infused punch on Bellamy's chest, and almost killing him on impact. Almost, not did. Bellamy hits the ground. Luffy then proceeds to beat up Sarkis and the rest of the crew, and well, Zoro and Chopper questioning Luffy on why he teamed up with Blackbeard, if that's the one Ace is hunting. Luffy then says that him and Blackbeard are going to take it outside. Those two go to the crew. Quickly, Blackbeard says, "There's really no point. Luffy's crew is being watched by his." Luffy then poke out the window as he sees Blackbeard see his crew facing off into Straw Hats. They walk outside, Luffy being ready to fight against Blackbeard. Immediately, Luffy would try to go towards Luffy, only for Robin to grab his wings, about to clutch his wings. As soon as he makes his wings disappear, he's hit in the back with a lightning bolt from Nami. Nami then laughs, saying, "Oh, you're really dumb for being one of the smartest on the crew." Because the crew's very much aware. Because like I said before, Luffy's very intelligent when it comes to bounties. Blackbeard's crew, I assume Fleet at most would probably have a bounty already. So he's completely aware of Blackbeard's crew, just not Blackbeard. That's really just it. He's the only one he's not aware of, and a little bit of Van Augur, but still Usopp can handle him. That's to train Usopp. Luffy had Usopp train against Gear Second Luffy to aim constantly. Like Usopp can actually pretty easily catch up to canonical Gear Second Luffy, at least all the way up to Punk Hazard. So this Usopp, who's not even 19 yet, can keep up, not kind of his eyes keep up with that decently. That shows how good he is with aiming. It was actually physically a lot stronger. So I wish I said in the last part comparing to Mr. 4. So yeah. So with Van Augur was kind of able to evade the giant lead balls. Usopp did. He pulled out a hot sauce and Tabasco mixed star. Also, there's a bit of gunpowder mixed in. So yeah. So it's not really that big, but it's a little bit of gunpowder, and it's enough to actually kind of be like a firecracker, but it's full of hot sauce and Tabasco. So the moment that Van Augur catches it, well, actually does just hold his hand out, as it actually did burn him. He didn't expect it to be like a firecracker. When he actually put his hand down to just shake off the whole hot sauce, well, he fires off the grade 2 version of it, which actually coated in a lead ball, but then filled with hot sauce, Tabasco, and gunpowder. It breaks out Van Augur's monocle. It hits him right in the eye. It's not going to blind him permanently, but he's not going to be seeing for the next weeks or maybe months. And when it's done, he may not have good vision in that eye for the rest of his life. But just to be nice, Van Augur will not be able to see properly till the Impel Down arc. As Van Augur is just yelling in pain, suddenly the giant lead ball does hit Van Augur in the stomach, knocking him out. That Burgess tries to attack Luffy, only for Sanji to just basically just roundhouse kick him across the jaw as hard as he can, breaking it on impact and knocking him out. Luffy and Blackbeard begin slugging it out, but Blackbeard actually is pretty easily able to cancel out Luffy's Devil Fruit with his own abilities, with his own Devil Fruit. But he's questioning how Luffy is still comparing to his physical strength. And there's realized that Ace was just a freak of nature without a Devil Fruit. And Luffy, in Ace's words, Luffy trained Ace. But Luffy's even more of a freak than Ace is. So Blackbeard does realize, even if he can't cancel out Luffy's Devil Fruit, he may not even stand a chance in the fight. And Luffy only seems to have good battle IQ and knowledge of bounties. He doesn't have one, so Luffy couldn't get much on him, but still, with battle, Luffy's learning way too fast. Zoro, he fights against, I'd say, probably, actually, the only person that's left is Doc Q. And Doc Q can basically just be one shot by Chopper, who just sends him flying with a single punch. So, yeah. Luffy actually does succumb to Blackbeard's Devil Fruit, just canceling out his blunt force, I guess, avoiding kind of thing, or just canceling out blunt force. And Luffy actually does end up passing out just through sheer pain, because Blackbeard hits about as hard as him, and Luffy hits hard as hell. He just does pass out. Blackbeard just falls on his butt, just panting, till he sees the whole Straw crew rushing at him, and this whole Straw crew is insanely strong compared to his own, so he may just lose. But suddenly, Blackbeard is about to use Black Hole on them, so he suddenly will kick right in the face by something. And it's Bellamy. Bellamy's holding his ribs, coughing up blood, as Blackbeard's kicked far away. Now, Bellamy's is actually pretty pissed off at Luffy and Blackbeard, but Blackbeard seems to be the biggest one, so, yeah. Luffy stood up after 5 minutes, and just sees Bellamy being beaten up by Blackbeard and Burgess. But mainly Luffy just went Gear Second and just slapped Burgess halfway across Jaya with no effort. And it shocked Blackbeard that Luffy did that easily. But then Blackbeard would attack Luffy. Luffy would then suddenly go Gear Third. And Blackbeard's if I collide with him with my fist in case it coated with darkness, his bones will probably shatter on impact because his arm is or his bones are so widened at this point. But Luffy already knew this, and immediately jumped over over Blackbeard, and punched him right in the side as hard as he can, and sends him flying into the water. Pause. Well, as Blackbeard sent flying in the water, Luffy would fly down and catch him right before he's fully submerged. So Luffy then says tells Blackbeard that they should surrender and just leave, and Blackbeard agrees, as Luffy clearly broke his arm. So that they all leave, and the fight mainly ends in a draw. Luffy didn't expect Blackbeard's crew to be that strong. Doesn't let Ace doesn't stand a chance. So basically, we would have what was it? I guess I'm going like the Strat's leaving, or think they still to Skypia. But in Skypia, it's not really an interesting fight at all. The Strat's completely win against Enel with no difficulty. Because Usopp trained with Gear Second Luffy, so did Zoro, so did Sanji, so does Nami. Like, they're all extremely fast, and Luffy himself is about as fast as lightning, and actually closing in on the speed of lightning in its base form, then actually surpassing it in its Gear Second form. Not at the speed of light, but still faster than lightning. So, well, that fight's not really going to be interesting, and Nell cannot keep up with Luffy even using observation haki. Then Zoro can tap into it on Alabasta, which would mean Luffy probably can tap into it as well. And with Enel, I'd say he probably does. So basically, Zoro cuts down all of most of Enel's guards. Sanji fights Enel briefly and is able to somewhat, evade him, but not completely beat him. But Enel did the shots extremely powerful compared to his own soldiers, saying that if his soldiers fight any of them, they'll lose, most definitely. Even against Nami, he thinks that probably 99% of his army would lose, him being that 1% that wouldn't. But she does actually mention this. Nami even says, if the whole army could lose to them, even her, they would send even a second with their captain. No question how strong the captain would be. So Nami then says, he'd beat Enel in a minute. Enel then says, believe in him that much. But suddenly Nami began counting down. 59, 58. And as soon as Enel got down to 30 seconds, he's just like waiting to see if this should prove their captain won't come to her. Something else kicked right across the face, and he doesn't know how he was hit. And what the hell hit him that fast? He couldn't even sense it. But then he looks, seeing what hit him, seeing that one brat that's been stretching his limbs about. As Snell's in the air, Luffy then yelled Jet Gatling, and Snell's nailed by it over and over and over again, hundreds of times over before he hits the ground unconscious. Nami then says, guess it's closer to 30 seconds. He stands up, helping Sanji up to his feet. Sanji was hit twice by lightning, while she's only hit once. But Luffy actually picks up Enel by his neck and throws him into a tree over and over again, just before he just nails him one more time with the Jet Gatling, just to make sure he's unconscious officially. Well, not Jet Gatling, Jet Pistol, but yeah. Zoro and the rest of the crew emerge, being completely fine. And Robin says that she fought pretty easy, the whole thing was pretty easy for her. Trevor says, yeah, it was the same for him. With this, they end up getting the gold still. Then when the whole Scrappy trying to give them a giant bar, Luffy she doesn't want to run, saying he'll take the cannonball head on. Plus, it maybe made of gold. And there's just a giant pillar of gold, so there's nothing to fear. But they don't know where they'd fit it, but Luffy just grabs it and holds it in the air, saying, let's go. So Luffy can just hold onto the giant gold bar the whole time. So with this, pause. Alright, so, eventually Luffy would just go about, and by the time that they do get to Water 7, the giant gold bars kind of being flaunted through the city till Luffy's like, you know anyone who can melt this down to gold bars? And the guy says, even if we did, that's over 100 billion berries on your arm with how big it is. It's well over 10 feet long. Luffy then says, hey, can you still burn it down? Suddenly Frankie, when he heard how big his giant gold pillar was, the one that Luffy was told, someone just jumps in front of him, being Frankie. Frankie tried to use coup d'etat on Luffy, only for Luffy to smack it, just smack it away, saying, hell is that thing? It stung. Frankie's jaw just dropped, ended up being attacking Luffy, only for Luffy just basically used pretty sure it's called, or pronounced Hapkido, or Hapkido, H-A-P, Hapkido. I forget the name of it, but pronunciation of it, but basically Luffy just uses that with one arm and beats the hell out of Frankie with it. But how stretchy Luffy is, he can use it with one arm with really no effort. By the time Luffy had beaten Frankie up with it, eventually the whole Frankie family's beaten up by Luffy only using one arm, not even moving an inch. Well, Iceberg just watches. Iceberg never thought he'd see the day at Frankie, and his whole gang is beaten up by some guy with one arm that's really stretchy. Still, gold bars melted down at one point, or the gold pillar melted down, and the Strats actually had well over 100 billion berries. So, yeah. So yeah, around $822 million is what they get out of that giant pillar. And then in euros, I believe that's like 818 billion. So, and maybe like that. But yeah. So basically with this, we just go on to see the Straw Hat crew. when they get all their money, well, they have to like dedicate a whole room to it. Is this kind of cheating Nami out of her own room, but Robin shares the room with her now? So yeah. Now Nami's extra room became like just a whole giant like, money chamber. So with this, we have to go on to just yes. Well, Frankie actually does confront Luffy like a day later, wanting to fight him officially. Luffy does say that Frankie doesn't stand a chance, but still Frankie seems really cool. Now that Luffy and Frankie begin fighting, and as Luffy and Frankie fight, Frankie loses horribly. Like, it's not even a challenge for Luffy. Frankie does ask Luffy who he is, and Luffy explains his name is Straw Hat Luffy, because Luffy does have like the whole strat thing going on. But if you guys forgot, Luffy looks just like this, just minus the black coat and the beard. That's really just it, and the scar on his chest. But as like Frankie does fight Luffy and loses horribly, he's just amazed at how strong Luffy truly is. So yeah. So after this, we have to move on to just Luffy. I guess when Luffy is about, like... Well, I guess Robin. Robin isn't really scared of CP9 because of Luffy. Like, she's seen how strong he is and how fast he is. Like, one, he's been ripping off Soru from Kuro, like, the shape technique from Kuro pretty easily. He doesn't like, he's copied it with no effort at all, actually. Like, he can use it, like, he can use it, just he can see a bit. Not really, because he doesn't use it too much because he can barely see, but he can see a little. Then with Gear Second, well, he moves a lot faster than Shave does, and he can even use Shave in Gear Second, which makes him pretty close to the speed of light, honestly. So, Soru in CP9 doesn't really compare to Luffy at all. Doesn't matter either way. And Luffy's body is simply as durable as a basic Tekai. If you learn how to use Tekai, he's basically impenetrable. Finger Pistol, he's just simply strong enough to use it, because he doesn't need to train it. His fingers are simply just really powerful. Paper Body, he's made of rubber. Just don't bring a blade near him, and he can probably still dodge it. So Luffy is basically the living embodiment of every single technique CP9 uses, just because he trained hard enough to be about as good as each technique. So Robin isn't terrified of CP9 whatsoever. The Straw Hats are pretty much similar. Like Sanji and Zoro are comparable to canonical Straw Hat Luffy. Like canonical Luffy in this arc, actually even a bit stronger, probably about like Marineford level Luffy. So that's just how strong they are. Nami this way maybe actually comparable to, I'd say, probably like not Skypiea Luffy, but maybe like all Strats are comparable to at least some version of Luffy pre-time skip, but after Alabasta. It's not after Alabasta. Nami and Usopp are probably about comparable to Alabasta Luffy, probably just about equal to him. And Chopper is actually a bit stronger than them both, comparing to about Skypiea Luffy. And Robin hasn't really trained the Strats that much. She's not really too into the whole training thing with how much they do train. She's not as strong as the rest of them. As the rest of them are still pretty strong. She's like comparable to possibly like the Luffy that fought Arlong in terms of physical power. But yeah. So with this, well, the next arc could probably just be well, not arc. Well, the next part of this arc could probably be Endy's lobby. But this time Robin is kidnapped, and Strats are not framed for shooting iceberg because he's never shot. Instead, he actually does get a letter telling, and it's like basically tell the Strats to hit it in his lobby, with the whole the whole plans for Pluton if they want the crewmate to live. Iceberg tells them, and actually about to offer up the blueprints to Pluton, only for Frankie to say that will reveal to the Strats that he has them, and he says that he'll head to any lobby with them. So that they agree, and they take the other sea train. But Luffy is not going to wait one bit. Well, once the sea train started going, he realized how slow it was. What Luffy did, well, he actually began stepping on the tracks with his legs, kind of stretching him in the air, so he wouldn't need to. But Luffy had to be very careful with his steps before he sank into the water. So with that, he had Zoro kind of just I guess it would be Zoro who's on top of the train, just so Luffy doesn't fall in, or to make sure he doesn't fall in. With a little your second Luffy, he's kind of running while skipping with the train being pushed by him. But this gets up to the other train pretty easily. And Sanji actually is the one to jump on the ship. And when Sanji does, well, he jumps in and kicks the hell out of every single person on the train. And until he gets to Lucci and there's CP9, well, it's like Kaku's about to hit Sanji like a kick the face using Tempest kick. Well, suddenly, Kaku's hit in the face by something, and he doesn't know what it is, but they see Kaku hit the ground with his face on fire until it's just extinguished. The question of did this till a lead ball would hit Caulifla right in the face, knocking her out on impact. Now immediately, we see Bluno try to grab Sanji using the door fruit. Quickly, his hand hit by volt electricity. Only for the person that hit him to knee him right in the jaw on impact, non-impact. So the person just, like he's about lightning, he's just stunned for a bit. Then he's quickly just kneed right in the jaw. And then, well, Luffy tries to intervene, only Luffy to just to get a giant cut across his chest, and fall to his knees, and then kicked in the face by a flaming foot. The whole CP9 crew's defeated pretty easily by the Straw Hats, and old Robin dragged back onto the ship. Luffy asks what they want to do, and, well, the Straw Hats say, well, they could go to Aang's lobby and beat up every single Marine there. But as Frankie says, it'd be a pretty hard transition to go from this train to that train, but still, they should do it. Then I remember CP9 is suddenly stuffed. I remember several agents are stuffed into the old sea train. That sea train is then kick all the way back to Water 7. The Throts then get on the faster sea train and make their way to Annie's lobby, only having CP9 on board, and they're all knocked out. Well, not Lucci, but still. As they get to Annie's lobby, they see Lucci walk out tied up, only for Jabber to jump down, questioning what happened to Lucci. Only that Jabber was getting close, he's kicked in the face by a flaming foot, as he's just knocked out on impact. Immediately, we have Fukuro tries to attack Sanji, only for him to be slammed in the ground by Frankie. And then, well, we just see another random agent try to attack. Well, I'd say it's probably what was his name? I'll find it real quick. Kumidori tries to jump in, attack Frankie, only for his arms to be put behind his back. And he thinks he's like, this is a very thin grip, I can break out of this. Only for some giant buff reindeer to punch him right inside of his head full force, and he's sent flying back. This Chopper actually trained with Monster Point Chopper trained with Luffy. They have a lot of free time between islands, so they've had a decent amount of time to train. So Chopper can actually control Monster Point for up to 3 minutes before he loses control. And Kumidori seem to be an even match. Even if Kumidori goes all out, Chopper tries to go all out, not using Monster Point, but only proves to be an exact equal to Kumidori. So that he goes Monster Point and beats him in just 2 seconds. So yeah, that quickly Chopper kicked him back in the head by Luffy, only using his base form, and knocks out Chopper immediately. But Chopper just says thank you as he passes out. Chopper hits the ground, and Luffy says their new goal is to protect Chopper, as they basically just run through, just knocking out every single Marine in their path as easy as possible. Spaindum's kind of just nervous, then is about to call a Buster Call. Well, suddenly, two arms would grab him, by his arms, restraining him, only for 2 more to appear, and then proceed to beat the absolute hell out of him with really no remorse. But eventually he's punched unconscious and just lays on the ground asleep. No Buster Call is called in his lobby, and the Straw Hats just leave, and Frankie is their newest member. So yeah. Now, Luffy actually does tell Frankie he sees his new crewmate. Frankie says, why? Frankie says, no, not why. Luffy then says 10 million berries. Frankie says, 100 million. Luffy says, deal. That Luffy and Frankie fist bump, and he's now a Straw Hat pirate. So, he didn't want to leave, but then 100 million berries was a little too promising. So, he went with them. He did say goodbye to the Frankie family, and Frankie saw the blueprints to Pluton. So, yeah. So he actually rebuilds them, not rebuilds, he makes the Sunny. By the time the Sunny is made, well, they leave. So if the Straw Hats leave, the next arc would be meeting Brook. They meet Brook. Brook's let onto the ship. And, well, Brook tries to basically flirt with Robin and Nami. Only for Sanji to slap Brook's head right off. And then Sanji says that if Brook wants to join the crew, they're then run the ship like a family. And Brook cannot be flirting with the girls. Brook realizes what kind of ship this would be. Flirting is something he cannot do at all. Sanji can't even do it. It'd basically be for Nami, be the equivalent of flirting with his sister. For Robin to be the equivalent of flirting with his aunt. It's just going to be weird as all hell. And Brook is like a grandfather alongside Frankie, who just like that one weird uncle. So it'd be really hard for for Sanji and Brook. Well, not for Sanji, just for Brook, but yeah. But they head to the bark. Trapper just straight up fights Dr. Hogback after seeing what Hogback had done. Luffy actually pointed out that Moria's crew consisted of these members and zombies. Trapper already knew what Hogback did, so he'll fight Hogback himself. Just leave him be. So Chopper has like a giant pouch of salt, and Chopper just beats up Hogback with really no remorse. And then we go into Sanji, who fights Absalom. Luffy did tell Sanji about what Absalom does and what he's known to do. And Sanji's pretty pissed off, so he fights Absalom and knocks him out with simply just one kick as fast as possible. Then he fights Lola, only to avoid her hit and put salt in her mouth and free her. And then he proceeds to beat up all Absalom zombies, being able to outmaneuver them all and then put salt in their mouth. Then Zoro kind of does the same thing, but with Piranha zombies, while Usopp just puts salt in her mouth, just fires like a salt star at her face, which is burn her eyes, only for her to be kicked in the chest by Usopp and it knocks her out. So the threats can clear out through their bark in just a matter of like, well, not even 30 minutes, or about 15 at the max, with how fast they move. The main challenges are Oars, Moria, and Ryuma. But Brook fights into Ryuma, with Zoro giving him tips from the side. And if Brook's going to give by an attack, Zoro actually butts in and blocks it, telling Brook to beat Ryuma of his own accord. Ryuma does acknowledge how good Zoro is, just a companion, not invading the fight, but making Brook fight his own battles. But eventually Brook actually is able to see what Zoro's trying to say, and Brook will actually go for a different kind of knot slash. Now Ryuma didn't expect Brook to change up his pattern so fast, but Brook had called it a tilted notch. This Ryuma is kind of confused. Suddenly, Ryuma's head is the one that's cut. Well, Ryuma's head is cut, and Brook, at this angle, didn't get grazed at all. He actually was completely out of the way of Ryuma. Thus, Ryuma's head just cut in half. He dropped the sword, but it constantly lands at Zoro's feet. But Zoro did not lose Yubashiri. But Zoro does acknowledge that Yubashiri is getting kind of weak, or actually is lacking behind to the other blades. So Zoro does, brings Yubashiri to the ship, and just wraps it up. Yubashiri's done for. Yubashiri's gonna put like on Zoro's headboard, and then Zoro just has like Shisui with him. So yeah. Pause real quick. So where was I? So Zoro puts up Yubashiri takes Shisui, and Brook thank Zoro. Now this is just Oars being controlled by Moria. That's really just it. You know when that Moria tried to just send out a punch? Well, Luffy in his base form is comparable to Nightmare Luffy. He's simply just that powerful. So he just stops Oars' punch with one arm, then just throws Oars through the air. Only to jump in the air, then just use Gear Third and slam Oars on the ground as hard as he can. And then just yell Grizzly Gatling. And pummels Oars completely before he's just destroyed. Luffy deflates his arms, and with Grizzly Gatling, his arms are actually pretty short to the point where it's hard to move them. Still, Moria is beaten. As Moria tries to emerge using 1,000 shadows, then Luffy just jumps up and kicks Moria inside of the head as hard as he can, sending every single shadow flying out of him. Luffy walks away saying, you're supposed to be a warlord. Be a warlord. Why aren't you strong? So yeah. After this, Kuma does arrive, and then he fights in the Strat crew. And actually does realize how strong Luffy truly is, while tired. Not tired, but while his arms are injured and disabled. But still, the whole Strat crew is insanely strong. But Zoro doesn't need to take all of Luffy's pain, because Luffy's not in any pain. His arms are just really sore. Well, his arms are in pain, but that's about it. So, yeah. So even if Zoro does take pain, it will not be a lot of pain. He may cough up a little bit of blood, like a very stereotypical anime character. That's about it. A little bit of blood coming from his mouth. A little bit of it. That's just it. There's really nothing important to go over after beating Moria. Lola's crew does thank Luffy, and they leave. They head to Sabaody, which relatively remains the same. Just Luffy has a higher bounty than all the worst generation. Because while Luffy beat Moria, really no effort. Kuma reported that Kuma just reported that Moria is beaten ungodly easily for being a warlord. So when they hear that Moria is beaten easily by Luffy, then he fought Blackbeard's whole crew, and Blackbeard is said to be someone who's comparable to a warlord. So far he's beaten a warlord candidate, another warlord. He's just been going after him. So Luffy's officially beaten 3 warlords. And with that, Luffy's bounty actually would skyrocket all up to 390 million. So that's his bounty. Behind him is Zoro, who's actually equal to Kid in bounties, 315 million. Sanji at 310 million. Below that, we actually have Usopp, who's at 200 million. Well, we have Frankie at 90 million, Robin at 95 million. Then we have Chopper at, I say like 1,000 berries. Nami, I say that's at 40 million. And yeah, I think Brook, he's at like 40 million. So like Brook and Nami are tied for a bounty. Chopper's at like 1,000. Robin is at 95 million. Frankie's at 90 million. Zoro at 315 million. 315 million for Zoro. 310 million for Sanji. 390 million for Luffy. That's like the bounty of the crew. Intercepts 100 million. So, but I guess we can just move on like past this all the way to just like the main fight versus like, well, first Luffy does hit Charles in the face as hard as he can, actually almost kills him. But Kid just realizing how strong Luffy truly is. But Luffy's part of the worst generation because he got more active as a pirate the moment the worst generation was starting. Because Luffy, people thought he was like a bounty hunter mainly. It's really just it. Because he went from like a Coast Guard bounty all the way up to like the Marines. So he must have been a bounty hunter previously. But basically, Luffy almost kills Charlos, only for him to just call an alliance between him, Kid, and Law. And Kid and Law just he's a fight only for Luffy to speed blitz everyone and beat them all in like one kick or one punch. Which is really pretty easy for Luffy. But we go on to just Kizaru arriving. Kizaru fights the Strats. Luffy actually been using his newly acquired shave, where he can actually see better, but with Gear Second. Well, not only acquired, just he advanced it. Now, Kizaru does realize how fast Luffy is, and does realize he may have to go all out with his speed to actually beat Luffy. Eventually, he actually does go all out with the speed, moving as fast as light can, and beating up Luffy severely, till really intervenes, helping the Strats, and being impressed by Luffy. But if you look at Luffy, actually Luffy taps into a feeling he has, and triggers that feeling on a very large scale, being Conqueror's Haki. Kizaru's been pushed back by this, he's just shocked that Luffy has it, and controlled it. With this moment of shock, Rayleigh actually hits Kizaru across the face as hard as he can, sending Kizaru flying. He's laying on the ground, spitting out a bit of blood, but then, well, Luffy's about to hit him, but when Kizaru dodges, or faces behind Luffy, he's kicked in the back by Rayleigh. Luffy's Conqueror, plus his sheer speed, is throwing Kizaru off majorly, where Kizaru just says he may himself have to retreat. Luffy's a really good version of bait for Rayleigh because of how fast and distracting he is with Conquerors as well. Now, Kizaru doesn't really have a chance of winning if Luffy just proceeds to be this fast and distracting. That Kizaru announces that there's going to be a retreat, and he leaves. So, yeah. This is a more shock that Luffy just was able to push back Kizaru, so, yeah. So with this, well, these Straw Hats just, well, still they are separate by Kuma, because Kuma was fighting them while Luffy fought with, like, fought with Rayleigh against Kizaru. So the Straws are still supplying the same places. Okay, yeah. Luffy doesn't get stopped at Amazon Lily, but Rayleigh recommends Amazon Lily for Luffy. But sends Luffy there with a letter. Now Luffy actually is able to arrive to Amazon Lily in 3 days by using Gear Second as like a motor for a boat. So, yeah. Actually, he could actually take the Sunny, but I don't think he would. So, yeah. Takes it. Boa's like, not Boa, but the residents are hesitant to look to Luffy gives him a letter from Rayleigh. So, yeah. So Boa arrives eventually, hearing that Rayleigh sent a man there. Then Luffy's actually able to get Boa to like him a lot, really. A lot, actually. I don't know why I said really. I suppose at this point Luffy's like 22. I forgot that Luffy's in his 20s already. So, at this point, Boa and Luffy can actually probably do a few things that would be very inappropriate for One Piece. Also, Luffy didn't have anything to do for 5 years besides discover, like just learn in honesty. In all honesty, just learn about bounties, learn about pirates. Luffy honestly does do a few things with Boa, like then nothing goes inside anywhere in a 18+ way. But him and Boa do a few things that aren't insertion. So yeah. So with this, well, Luffy actually is told first he had like a day before Momonga arrives, Boa is alerted to this via news queue. Luffy's able to coat his ship and then hide underwater with it and then follow the Marines sneakily using a coated ship. Then before they get to impel down, he hides his ship at a nearby island. Not nearby island, just actually generally far away. But Luffy's able to take a small dinghy near impel down. and then just jump over the walls and just sneak around. Because Impel Down, as we know, doesn't have good security, at least on the outside. All he knows is it has giant marine ships. But they let the Strauss and like they've let one guy, then a whole just fleet of just random Marines get away. Random pirates get away. So their security cannot be good. Luffy's able to sneak in once Boa had basically stoned everyone, or turned them to stone. Then Luffy snuck around, but first destroying every single camera in sight, and then shutting down the cameras via domino, then leaving. Luffy ran down, finding the same guys as in canon. Buggy is amazed. Like you hear about how Luffy defeated multiple warlords, and he's just amazed at this. But eventually, Luffy made his way down to Jinbei, still being late for Ace. So yeah. Pause. So, Luffy just goes on and, well, he just basically meets the same people, but the first time he fights Magellan with Bonchan, he wins. Like, Luffy is actually able to beat Magellan via just objects, and then, well, just using his speed actually send poison into the air and actually find openings for Magellan. So, Luffy beat Magellan. And how hard he beat up Magellan. Well, Magellan was in the infirmary most of the time, and then in the bathroom at the same time. So, yeah. After that, they leave. Hannibal was defeated in one punch via just Luffy just smacking the hell out of him. So, yeah. Let's try to leave. As the Impel Down breakouts, just get all the way over to a marine ship and leave, or Luffy's son even leave. Well, let's talk that Luffy able to get his pirate ship over to Eni's lobby. To Impel Down. But then Luffy using the ship at full command, they get to Marineford about probably 5 minutes after Whitebeard does. So as they get there, they get there relatively fast. And the thing is, they don't really drop their ship on. Luffy doesn't drop his ship on the ice. He's feeling it's going to be off, and already knows that they're really close. So what he does, actually send out there's multiple small boats and just sends them all out. Well, he hid his ship at an island nearby. Then they used the small boats and hit it over. So yeah, the Buggy had used the emoji that Luffy never used before and called up Alvida, telling him where they were, and they waited a bit. So with this bit of waiting and then having the ships ready, it took them relatively around an hour. Honestly, if they were an hour late instead of the 5 minutes as I said earlier. For plot convenience, Alvida was close by. But as they arrive, the Buggy ship is the one that dropped off of the whole iceberg. They land, and then it's just Buggy's whole crew. Then Impel Down breakouts, and now Luffy and Jinbei and Crocodile. Luffy already does know who's weak and who's not in this war. And quickly he does see Moria attacking, only for Moria just to get a very swift jet pistol right to the face, being knocked out on impact. With Kuma, Luffy appeared behind Kuma, and doesn't know it's a real one, and is actually able to basically just judo flip Kuma. But Kuma doesn't really budge, so Luffy just then yelled, "Kick of the Blue Dragon," hitting Kuma in the back as hard as he can. And, he had yelled, basically just, not Blue Dragon, the Red Dragon at this point, because in Gear Second, he's more of a reddish pink, and he was Gear Second with it. This actually sent Kuma flying, through the air, everyone could see it. Then Kuma just suddenly slammed through the ice and landing in the water. Which would lead a few Marines having to drag Kuma out of the water, because Kuma can't swim. So yeah, Luffy had landed on the ground eventually and just proceeded to just jet pistol everyone. Or just jet gatling everyone as fast as possible. They came down to Doflamingo and Luffy confronting each other. They'd never met before, but they just didn't fight. Then Doflamingo began fighting Luffy, but he's using Haki. The thing is, he still cannot keep up with Luffy, even using observation, he cannot keep up. He's simply just too fast. And but when Aki is questioning this to himself, how the hell can Doflamingo not catch up? He's using Haki. Using it. Kizaru says the only reason he did retreat, Luffy's almost matching Kizaru's full speed. Or that they realized that's why Doflamingo cannot keep up. Because he's moving about as fast as speed about close to the speed of light. It's gonna be hard to keep up with. That Doflamingo eventually is kicked into the ground over and over again, and eventually just too tired to keep up with Luffy, and just passes out just lack of stamina. Luffy's now panting because he took out Smoker in the process. He took out a lot of people in the process of just dodging all these attacks from Doflamingo or just trying to hit him. But eventually, Doflamingo out and a lot of other Marines out. But one, the Whitebeard crew is just thoroughly impressed. So is Jinbei. So yeah, now Jinbei and Whitebeard do talk for a bit, and Jinbei's he beat Magellan with just random strategy thought of off the top of his head. So this kid is something special. But eventually Luffy does just like use like a very swift like jet palm, and jet palm just slams right into like I'll say jet palm can slam into the sword of Mihawk. This is Mihawk sliding back, only for Mihawk to be met by Vista. But due to him being off guard, he's kicked in the face, losing his blade, and then Vista will use it to attack Mihawk. But Vista's really the blade is simply too heavy to hold normally, which leads to Mihawk taking it back. But still, Luffy does get way up to Ace via Inazuma. Well, the moment Garp tries to actually punch at Luffy just moved faster than him using Shave and then just ran to Ace. And Garp was just amazed that Luffy had used that, knowing it as Soryu. But I think I said this in the first part. Luffy fought random crews and freed Kobe from Albedo, like unintentionally. It was just Luffy didn't bring Kobe to Shelltown. So Kobe is aware that Luffy is he's aware of who Luffy is. Him and Luffy did talk after Water 7, after Ninja Lobby, I mean. They kind of went the same way, so I didn't mention it, but yeah. So either way, Luffy does end up beating, he frees Ace. As they make their way down, Luffy is actually the one to mainly protect Ace from like blunt force not like swords and blunt force attacks. But blunt force, Luffy swords, he kind of just uses his body in a different way of stretching by either just compressing it, but does make it harder to breathe and move around. But then, when they retract the swords, Luffy just expands and just jumps around, kicking them all away. With this, Ace actually did not die in this arc because Luffy can move about fast the speed of light, even using Soryu. Not good Soryu, but still Soryu. So him and Ace survive. So with this, basically the arc is kind of ended in a draw. Because when Shanks does arrive, Shanks had actually said the war's over, and him and Luffy talk for a while. But Luffy does keep the straw hat, knowing he's not strong enough to get the hat back yet. As he leaves, they leave on Buggy's ship once they do free from the ice. Whitebeard isn't dead, but still severely injured. As they leave, they arrive at just some random. I'll say they arrive at I guess it can be some random island in the East Blue. Not East Blue, I mean in the Grand Line. Pause. So with Luffy and everyone else leaving, Ace actually does say he's gonna try for being a pirate because his dream that was to make Whitebeard the king of pirates, and he couldn't do that. And his dream was kind of destroyed. But Luffy can call upon him anytime, and I'm gonna be honest, Ace is probably the one that'll go to Wano instead of Marco, or Marco will drag along Ace. But a lot of the Whitebeard crew will actually prefer Luffy. But the main thing that will happen into your time skip before Luffy trains with Rayleigh, Luffy participates in the Paramount War, or in the in the Payback War against Whitebeard, not against Whitebeard, against Blackbeard. He participated in that. He fought. Him and Blackbeard fought again. Blackbeard still didn't get the Guro no Mi, but instead, while Blackbeard was dying, he couldn't use Haki. We had to rely on basic senses to fight off hundreds of assassins sent by Blackbeard, and he couldn't use his quick fruit because he's on Sphinx Island. So he died just because he didn't want to destroy his home island. They had a fruit, and the fruit in that fruit, and they basically just give it to Blackbeard mid-war. Now with this, Luffy had to fight Blackbeard again, but with Marco and Ace at his side. As Blackbeard about to use a quake that would actually destroy the whole island they're on, Luffy had basically bound his arms and crushed them using his stealth and using his max strength. Without Marco and Ace using combined attack to send Blackbeard flying away. And with this, Blackbeard's arms were broken throughout the whole war, and it made it hard to move them. Plus, the force that was required to use the Guro no Mi was actually very weak because of his broken arms. So the war kind of just ended in a draw. So with this, they leave, and the war just is drawn. And there's really no bad injuries. So, with the way that both wars went, the whole Whitebeard crew can pull up to Wano, and every single ally can pull up to Wano. It wouldn't be too hard. So, yeah, the whole crew can pull to Wano if they need to. But yeah. But with this, we have to go on to just the extra year passing. Luffy mainly trained with Ace, Marco, and Rayleigh the whole time. He even visited Boa for some for some 18 plus visits. But yeah, by the time the Straws reunited, well, Luffy now looks just like this because he still get hit in the chest by Aki Inu. You know how Jinbei like blocked a hit from like Aki Inu for Luffy? Luffy blocked a hit for Ace, and he ended up getting that scar. So Luffy looks just like this by the time the series time skip was over. Luffy's 24. He has extremely good hockey. His observation was the best fine-tuned out of them all. Plus Marco did tell Luffy about like Conqueror's hockey coding. Luffy's aware of every single form of hockey that Marco knows. Like, so yeah. But yeah, I guess one thing that could probably change is that, well, one, when he gets to Fishman Island, the Lobby crew still was actually guarding it. They're still they're not a crew, but it's guarded by like the remaining crew members. Plus, actually, a few of them live there now, so the whole of Hodie's crew will not be a threat. They're actually imprisoned the moment they try to start a fight. Like Juzo is the one there, and he beats up everyone. So yeah. But as Ross will head to Fishman Island, they then leave that, hidden Punk Hazard. That the arc relatively remains pretty similar as in canon, so there's not really much differences. I guess then after that would be Dressrosa, where Dressrosa isn't really too interesting. The stars are simply just too strong for Dressrosa. Like Zoro and Sanji are both comparable to canonical Luffy, which is stronger than Doflamingo. Like if Zoro's over to go all out using his Ashura, he's on par with Gearforce Luffy. I'm just using Double Jambe to its full ability, on par with Zoro, who's on par with Gearforce Luffy. I mean, they're simply too strong for this arc, and their own opponents. This arc this arc ended way too fast to be a really official arc. Like how fast everything's gonna go, this arc may have been like a regular arc in canon. So yeah, the worst that Oda could have done is do more flashbacks. So yeah. But this arc being a bit shorter, well, first, Doflamingo fought fought Sanji before he fought Luffy or Zoro, and then got the epilogue shit kicked out of him, so he lost. So Sanji not Luffy, was Doflamingo losing. Well, he just retreated. And Law was aware that Sanji had beaten Doflamingo before. Doflamingo had to go on to fight against Luffy later on, and then lost horribly in just like 2 minutes. So this arc is just pretty easily won by the Triads. Like there's no birdcage. This arc ended too fast for there to be a birdcage. Then Luffy still has the whole Straw Hat Grand Fleet and actually was okay with this because he wants a Grand Fleet. But yeah. So with Dressrosa ending unbelievably fast, well, the next arc after that would probably be wasn't canon. Zoe. Into Zoe, and then, well, the whole Stardust headed there together because the arc was fast. Like, around the time the Stardust would originally leave for Zoe, the arc ended. Around the time Sanji and Nami and all of them would leave for Zoe, the arc ended. So, that arc was pretty easy. They leave with Kinemon, Konjuro, and Momonosuke. Then they arrive at Zoe, only for Beijing to threaten them with Big Mom. When Luffy just laughs, saying, if I want to be king of the pirates, why the hell should I care about a damn Yonko? Why? Beijing then actually tries to activate Big Father, only for him to be kicked away by Sanji with not even using Double Jambe. And then Zoro simply punches it as hard as he can, sending Beijing crumbling to the ground unconscious. Then Beijing's whole crew is just destroyed by Robin, Usopp, Nami, Chopper together with really no effort, leaving Vito to be cut down by Brook. The arc ended simply too fast. With that, we go to see like Strats who healed all the minks. So yeah. Now when Jack does return, well, Luffy actually interested in fighting him because Jack is like the right hand man of a Yonko, or one of the right hand men. Well, I guess King is like the right hand man. King's right hand. Queen the left hand. Jack is like the right leg. So yeah. And Kaido's dragon ability is the left leg. So Luffy wants to fight the right leg of Kaido, and he did just that and won with really no effort. Like it was a pretty easy fight. Even like Jack's amazed at how easy Luffy's beating the hell out of him. So yeah, eventually King is defeated by Luffy and the whole other crew. I mean just the rest of his crew beaten by Luffy. Luffy just jumps as high as he can. Zunisha swings his trunk out, and Luffy just ran up it all the way on to just Zoe. So yeah. Now that they all had the same ones that headed to Whole Cake Island and Cannon went there. The ones that headed to Wano headed to Wano. But the thing is, Luffy takes a bit more minks because they had a lot more recovery time than minks did. So a lot of them are actually more capable of heading out. The ones that head out are Dogstorm heads to Wano, and Neko heads to he heads to Whole Cake Island. So yeah. So at Whole Cake Island, well, first off, Luffy does fight Cracker, but by himself, and is able to find where Cracker is relatively easily, because he already has advanced observation level of Katakuri, so this is pretty easy for him. When we just find Cracker, well, Cracker's beaten up with no effort really. Well, then we have Neko and Emerald to fight the same opponents. So eventually, with this, the Strats just move on all the way on to just yes, the next thing would probably be Luffy versus all Big Mom's kids, because Cracker did tell her what happened, and how Luffy was similar to Katakuri. And Luffy was honestly very similar to Katakuri, he was equal in power, possibly. Probably even a bit stronger. So, basically, Luffy fighting all Big Mom's kids, and all of her soldiers. The Strats do arrive, only to arrive at the same time as Katakuri, because Katakuri's soldiers are equal to him there. But if he fights a tired Luffy, who still beats who still beats him outside of the mirror dimension, and everyone sees the battle go on for Luffy to win while he was still tired before the fight even started. Then, Neko and Carrot do see Pedro try to blow himself up, but Neko was already in Sulong form and immediately snatched the bomb off Pedro, throwing it right at Toppago, having him blow up. So Pedro isn't dead. This was a big change. Pedro lived. Because Neko's like, no, you don't kill yourself. You don't do that. You throw it at him. But Neko, Luffy, and Sanji fight against Big Mom. Also, the judge just watches and amazes how strong Sanji is. But with how strong Luffy is, Big Mom's even more impressed, because he got a break to recover his energy. So yeah. With this, Luffy able to push back Big Mom a significant amount. The little Big Mom's guard is broken. Jinbei then hit her with 1,000 brick fist to the chest. But then when she's open, Luffy then yelled Grizzly. Had yelled Grizzly Bazooka, and then this Big Mom's hit by this. She's sent flying into Whole Cake Chateau, and she's conscious a bit, till Poneglyph actually kind of fell forward, landing right on her face, knocking her out on impact. And with this Poneglyph hitting her in the face straight on, she fell a decent amount down through Whole Cake Chateau because of Luffy. So she's knocked out, and it's reported that Luffy beat a Yonko, or at least with his combined forces and collateral damage, a Yonko is defeated. Or the best way for the government to put it, so that the world isn't thrown into panic, is a Yonko is being matched in power, which Luffy's bounty is raised significantly higher, because after Payback War and Marineford, and then all the other arcs he just went through, I didn't go over the bounties, so I'll go over them now. Luffy, when he arrived at Whole Cake Island, was already at 900 million, just through what he's done. Then behind him was Zoro, who was at around 600 million himself. Sanji is at around 600 million as well. The lowest bounty in the crew is Chopper, who himself is probably, I'd say, not much higher than 100,000. Yeah, Chopper gets a bit more respect because he uses Monster Point a bit more frequently. But every single Straw member besides Chopper is over 100, around 100 million itself. Nami is the lowest out of them all, not counting Chopper, and she's already herself is around exactly 100 million. Brooks after her at 115 million. We have Frankie 130 million. Robin 150 million. They're like those numbers. So they're all really, really high up in there. And then out of the whole worst generation, Luffy's crew has the best consistency in bounties because of how high up they go. So yeah. So with this, next thing would probably just be probably I guess Wano would be next up. But Luffy learned how to use a Denmushi and called up Ace, because he saw Ace's Denmushi number. But Ace told Ace what's going to happen in Wano, and Luffy has law on Wano already, and actually talks Law frequently about what's happening in Wano, and telling Law to get this much information. Law found out Kid was in Wano, so Luffy already knows what's going to happen. He's gonna sneak Kid out of the Udon prison. Because little Ace was going to happen, Ace says that he'll get to Wano himself. He has a friend in there. But Ace is able to sneak into Wano around the same time that Luffy gets there. Like, they meet up at the entrance to Wano. Ace is like the one teaching them how to get into Wano. With that, they don't crash, they're not separated. But Ace guides Luffy to a certain place. Certain place that Ace knows how to get Yamato out of. So Ace frees Yamato. Ace introduces Luffy to Yamato, like, hey, yeah, Yamato, this is my older brother. Oh, my older brother that I told you about. This is Luffy. So, yeah. Now, Yamato just tell Luffy about her restraint. Only for Luffy to grab her restraint and squeeze as hard as you can, just telling hockey into them. And Luffy's aware that they're about to explode, but Luffy has had a few lessons in hockey from Rayleigh, Marco, and all of them. So Luffy's already like tapping into like this Ryo pretty easily. First time he does it right to free Yamato because he was nervous and just threw restraint in the air and they blow up. So yeah, so Yamato's freed off the bat like that. So she can leave Wano now if they weren't really explosive, but yeah. If they're freed, they'll try to all now have like a whole gathering at the same like Kozuki Castle. But yeah, Yamato has come clean that she's not like Kozuki Odin just say that she likes the name and admires him, so she took the name over. But yeah. So with this, well, the rest mainly just go about Wano. But the thing is, well, one important thing is that no one really knows a lot about certain people in Wano. Well, certain people being the Straw Hats. So one thing that happens is, I'd say, who could do this stuff with the idea in mind? Yeah, by the way, Jinbei is with them. Fair to say that Jinbei's with them. Jinbei's whole crew with them. One person that could do this is possibly Faku. Who could do this? Well, probably Ace only. So, because Ace is probably the lowest out of the whole Straw Hat crew. So yeah, so Ace is the one to set up a whole. Ace sets up basically like a whole just a group to rival, Kyojuro. Kyojiro's group to rival him. So as that group is used to rival him, everyone in the Straw Hat crew, they mainly just join that group. And then they beat up all Kyojiro's guys, and they attend the whole like just ceremony or party at the castle for Orochi. The moment that Robin got close, then so Yamato. Well, Yamato would actually as she got close, she hit Orochi in the chest with like a hockey infused punch to the ribs, sending Orochi flying out. And she just begins to like pummeling everyone as fast like as hard as she can with Robin joining her. Then the whole Straw Hat crew joins in. So as like Kyojiro had realized what happened, well, the major thing is that Kyojiro is he helps them. So with Kyojiro helping, it's actually honestly very important that he helps because it just revealed the moment that like he's attacked and then to actually block a lot of the attacks, and then Kinemon called him out. So yeah, either way he had no choice. By the way, the invasion on like the castle actually just succeeded as one person actually helping the attack is that he already had stabbed Orochi right in the heart, supposedly killing him. So yeah, Orochi may have died. So with this, we have to move on to Kaido to find out that Orochi was attacked by the Straw Hat crew and this recent Yakuza group, but it's disbanded now that Orochi's dead, which leads to Yasu still being alive. But now a lot of defenses are weak because they're now focused on guarding Kaido and actually patrolling Wano, which is really good for Law because he snuck into Udon Prison, took down everyone in there with the help of like Ace and Marco, because Marco arrived late. He fought King at the entrance, and King thought he beat Marco, only for Marco to slip away sneakily. That was his plan. So with help of Marco and Ace, Law broke into the prison and took out Kid, and then found Kawamatsu. So like every single prisoner in Udon Prison is freed. They have all their armies that they needed. With the fishermen spread out thin, nothing. Well, I guess it would be thin throughout the whole. It's not circus history, but I guess spread out through the waters of Wano. Well, it's not. They get a lot of information that they needed. So yeah, by the time that they want to invade Onigashima, the time that the fishermen got info, it was good info. So there's really no army being put up. They have their numbers officially set, and there's no damage whatsoever. So if you like, even if they wanted like the plan to be like in plain sight, but also not in plain sight, it wouldn't matter. They have both plans set up perfectly. So they do invade Onigashima, and then yeah. But then Kaido's like giving a speech with King and Queen at his side. They had basically immediately invaded it, appearing behind Kaido, wearing this exact outfit that you see in the picture. And King is punched in the back as hard as Luffy can muster, using a Conqueror's Haki, the infused punch, almost killing King with how hard he hit King and where he hit him. But King is then flying to the ground unconscious. But as soon as like Queen tried to attack Luffy, Zoro and Sanji intervene and take down Queen. Well, it leads to Luffy basically just shooting into like, Snake Man, fighting against Kaido, just going all like moving the way up to the roof. But if you guys are wondering where Luffy learned Conqueror's Haki coding from, basically just Marco giving Luffy better instructions on what he knew about it than Yamato helping him. Because I assume she could probably do it. So this with those who are helping him, he learned it himself. And Zoro even just learned it through the help of just Marco and Luffy and Yamato. So there's really no problems with Enma at all. So Zoro doesn't have any Haki leaving his body; he just flows it into Enma, then Enma just keeps Zoro's body healthy, I guess. So I guess the next part could probably just be Luffy versus Kaido, but Luffy's a lot stronger in this one. Actually, is aware of Conqueror's Haki coding with decent experience with it. At this point, it's more of a fight of equals because Kaido isn't holding up Onigashima, but Luffy is also a lot more experienced. And then CP0, well, with the numbers that the Strats have over everyone here, CP0 is discovered by just a ton of people. And then, well, King's already down for the count the whole fight. Like, King got hit really hard by Luffy. Like, Conqueror's Haki, like, almost to the heart would have killed him. Just Luffy held back on the punch. Actually, no, he didn't. He just hit in the wrong spot, mainly, but, yeah. Pause. So mainly the fight between Luffy and Kaido goes on by, like, single-handedly just together by themselves for, like, I guess, for a decent amount of time. And then with, like, the main thing would probably just be King isn't going to be fighting at all. Even if he did, Zoro would have beaten him relatively quickly. It would have been a really fast fight. The one to actually fight against Kaido with Luffy is actually, Yamato, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei finished up his fight, honestly, really quickly. The Shorts had a lot of Haki training, honestly, they did. So, Zoro, Sanji, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, Law, Kid, and Yamato. So those 6 plus Killer, 7, versus Kaido. And honestly, 3 of them can use Conqueror's Haki coding on a good level. Kid can just use Conqueror's Haki really well, and regular Haki, so can Law, and so can Sanji. But Sanji awakens his cybernetic abilities, so they are destroying Kaido with really no effort. CP0 is discovered by all of Jinbei's crew, plus the remaining samurai, plus Ace. So as Ace fights them, well, they're fighting them to a standstill, plus Izo almost killed one of them. So this fight is mainly a standstill, so Luffy is not distracted by them at all. So Kaido and Luffy just fight, so Kaido, both the other 6 plus Luffy. Actually, Kaido would even go just all-out power using his drunk form as well, but only to still be defeated. Onigashima wasn't even in the air yet. That's how fast he lost the fight. And honestly, with the numbers and the Haki that every single person was using, this was a complete wash for the Straw Hat crew. Like with Who's Who and Jinbei's crews intervened and pulled Who's Who down through floors until they came across someone who could use Haki, and they helped fight against Who's Who with him. With that random Haki user who could be like Hyogoro or Sanji. Because Zoro and Sanji just teamed up on one hit and just destroyed King. And not King, Queen. So yeah. But still, either way, these fights honestly just ended really fast. Like no number was a challenge for any of the Strike crew. Hell, Nami and Ulti are pretty much equals with how much power that Nami can exert physically, and then with Climb Attack. Plus, she stole from Big Mom. Big Mom is still in this fight, sure, but it's not going to be any better for her than it was for Kaido. And even when they did beat Kaido, she was still just knocked onto a lower floor because Luffy is still a lot stronger. because I'm gonna go over the whole Big Mom portion. I have to go over that basically, but Luffy fought against Kaido single-handedly, while the other other five were fighting against. The other six were fighting against Big Mom, until they intervened because they had knocked Big Mom through a floor. Then once Kaido was defeated, they moved into Big Mom. They beat her pretty easily as well. So that's kind of happened. Big Mom got knocked through a floor, and that held her off for a bit, and they beat Kaido in the meantime. Then still she made her way back up, and they beat her. As simple as that. So every single person there is defeated. And the thing is, Pedro's there alongside Neko. So when Pedro and Neko fight, Pedro and Neko fight against Perro, they win. Then, Kanjo doesn't almost kill Ashura Doji because, Ashura is able to survive. Because, Kanjuro is being taken down by actually one of the fishermen before they even get to Onigashima. Some of them, Kanjuro try to just kidnap Momonosuke. It's a fisherman who takes him down. The fisherman drowns Kanjuro. So Kanjuro is just floating in the ocean in the ocean near Wano, just dead. So yeah, this arc is just a complete wash for the Straw Hat Pirates and their allies. But until further notice, Luffy did not awaken himself like he's in canon currently. So this kind of ends this part really easily. Like a lot of my One Piece videos cannot be updated until Wano ends. I don't like it, but I don't take it in my own direction because it'll be really hard to say I go off the story. But until Wano ends and I can do something else, this what if is now going to be postponed. That's why I don't do many One Piece what ifs. But goodbye.